Girl bosses are going broke and crying on social media. I mean, guys, nothing lasts forever. You have a lot of women now who are breaking down into tears and, saying that they're struggling out there because the streets are hard, the inflation is just too much for them. We're heading towards a major bankruptcy because right now everyone is living off credit. People have very little money, but they have lots of credit. So people are using credit to basically buy food and afford the basic necessities. That won't last forever. Ultimately, what we're going to see is a rampant amount of bankruptcies very soon. All the while, we're being told that we have the best economy in in a very long time, like one of the best economies in history, with record low unemployment, even as millions of full time jobs are disappearing on a monthly basis. Oh, one of the best employments, one of the best economies ever. One of the lowest unemployment rates in history. We have a very strong economy, a very resilient economy. This is as inflation continues to increase month over month. And, the prices are so sky high right now. It's mirroring Venezuela. Guys, do you remember what happened in Venezuela? When the prices began to go sky high, and the value of their money was depleting rapidly. Like this is what we saw this happen with the Bolivar. Okay, they had their own economic crisis. People could not, afford anything. Even the cost of toilet paper was sky high, and then they started to experience scarcity. We better be very very careful because if the government starts trying to set like price constraints very soon, like saying that we need to control the control the prices in the market, that's when we literally enter into the socialist era, and that will send, if companies decide that it's not it's not pliable to do business in America, they'll just go somewhere else. But it's insane. It's insane what we're seeing. There's a story right now going around where in what was it, in California, they're selling in California, like they have like there's like a, what was it, $25, a $25, it costs more than $25 for chicken nuggets and two French fries with no drink. And people are absolutely livid. And not just that, like almost 10,000 fast food jobs in California were lost after the $20 minimum wage was signed. This actually comes from, strangely, I think it's Gadget Insiders. And California's decision to implement a $20 minimum wage, guys, it's only been like 2 or 3 weeks since they implemented it, or a month. It hasn't been that long, and they've already lost 10,000 jobs as a result. All right. Since they implemented the $20 minimum wage for fast food workers last September, signed into law by Governor Newsom, but it only just went into effect like 2 or 3 weeks ago, has caused considerable disruption within the state's fast food industry. No, and they can't, guys. After doing this, they can't lower it again. They can't just turn around and take it away. And on top of it, like they're supposed to get like 3.5% annual raises. So within a short period of time, within a couple of years, you're going to have people who worked at McDonald's making $25 an hour, so $50,000 a year working at McDonald's. Shaking my head. Notably, the law has led to the elimination of nearly 10,000 jobs in the sector. And as the new wages take effect, additional job losses and operational changes, such as increased automation and price hikes, are becoming evident. And the saddest thing that you guys have to realize is that Gavin Newsom is probably going to end up running for president at some point, and they are positioning him to replace Joe Biden. Like if you think about it logically right now, there's really no one else that the Democrats have other than Gavin Newsom to replace Joe Biden, and that's who that they're positioning it. Many of you don't understand this when I say this, that we live in a federal corporation. We do not live in a democracy. We live in a federal corporation. There was actually some law passed some years ago, some time ago. I think it was in the 1800s, and basically what happened was, I think it started in DC, so the District of Columbia first, and they basically incorporated. And the cities in the United States, they don't actually operate. They operate as corporations. So they're all incorporated. They all operate as corporations, and basically they take on large amounts of debt, and then they try to use public money to pay that debt back. But the reality is that we do not operate under a democracy. We do not operate under a republic. We are a federal corporation, the United States. Both the federal and the state governments all operate as corporations. And guys, people do not have money, but they have lots of credit. And as things crash down, you're going to see everyone filing for bankruptcy. Everyone is going to be filing for bankruptcy. And the crazy thing is, all of these women who've been going out there flexing, they're all going to file for bankruptcy. The only fools and lonely fans people, a lot of these women are going to end up filing back for bankruptcy. I'll say this right now. While there are First Amendment arguments that could be made for the protection of only fools and lonely fans, it's a platform that could end up getting shut down. Why do I say that? Because that platform is intertwined with a lot of very serious things. It's highly possible right now that the federal government, the Department of Justice, is building a case against OnlyFans and Lonely Fools. A number of years ago, they actually did try to say they were no longer going to allow racy content on the platform, and then they immediately backed away from that because they were worried, because they knew exactly where things were headed. They're on borrowed time right now. And it's very, very, just like how they're going after Diddy. What they'll do is they'll spend years gathering tons of evidence, and until they have enough to go after these companies. Don't be shocked when OnlyFans and Lonely Fools, they get raided, and even like some of the creators on the platform, their homes get raided, and a bunch of people get arrested. And that platform, as soon as the federal government goes after Only Fools and Lonely Fans, they will shut down immediately. Like they will hands down shut down immediately. If you look at what happened with Omegle was a platform where people would just basically go and interact with one another. It was a streaming platform. And what ended up happening on Omegle essentially shut down overnight. The federal government came after them, and they shut down immediately because there was a lot of foolery happening on Omegle, right? So when you see what happened to Omegle, you have to understand that with Only Fools, Lonely Fans, it won't take much. All right, if they live in a straw hut, okay? You just have to blow on it, and it will fall apart. That's the reality of it. And when it does shut down, all those other platforms that are trying to do the same things that they are, they're gonna begin collapsing as well. Like, don't forget what happened with Craigslist. Craigslist used to have like a casual encounter section. Then they shut that down. Then there was a website called Back, you know what I'm talking about, Pages. And what ended up happening with that? Governments went after that, and they were shut down. And it's a domino. Basically, they're going, when Only Fools gets shut down, they're probably going to pay a large fine. Some people may go to jail. They'll get brought up on tons of charges. The IRS is going to go after them. Department of Justice is going to go after them. Like it's going to be a whole nightmare. And a lot of women working on the platform are going to be in trouble. A lot of men working on that platform, because you've got a lot of these pimps on there that have just rebranded and moved online. They're going to get in trouble. It's going to be a complete and utter nightmare. And of course, most of us that don't touch these platforms don't give a damn. And a lot of the simps, that's another thing. Be very, very careful what you wish for, because a lot of these men who have accounts on these platforms, their credit card information is on there. All right. So the transactions that they've made, the money that they've sent to these women, all of that is on there. When the federal government comes after these platforms, they're going to come after these men. They're going to come after these men as well. And these simps are going to face accountability for what they're doing. And they're literally going to be there crying their eyes out, saying that all I did was buy videos and buy pictures and stuff like that. And, the government doesn't care, because you know how the government treats men. Men pay for things that they didn't even do. Men are held accountable for things they are not even responsible for. So these guys are going to really get what's coming to them. A lot of these simps are going to go down with that platform, because that platform is simp candy, and everyone's going to laugh at them. All of us are going to laugh at them. All of us are going to be happy when these simps are getting hauled off to jail. The 304 is getting hauled off to jail. Every last one of them. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be like throwing a party. By the way, guys, don't forget I have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to a description of the video. Go check the channel out. Support my content. Enjoy it. And also, if you're enjoying the content on the Angry Guy channel and you want even more of it, I release daily videos on men walking away on the Men Walking Away channel. There's a link to the Men Walking Away channel in the description of the video. You can go and check that channel out, support my content, enjoy the content on that channel. It's linked in the description of the video. Guys, what do you think regarding this? Girl bosses are going broke and crying on social media. Let me know your thoughts on this and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away. And cheers.